How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to read the rewards of trading whether the price is going up or down. Billion-dollar bank charges massive overdraft fee after $10,000 vanishes from a veteran's bank account. So another incident of banking not protecting their customers. A bank that has built a business working with members of the military, veterans, and their families reportedly rejected a customer's plea for help after thousands of dollars disappeared in a mysterious hack. Air Force veteran Cruzita Barron says the thief hacked her United Services Automobile Association, or USAA, account and stole a total of $10,000 in two unauthorized transfers. Cruz says that USAA did not notify her that this had happened. She only knows because she got declined when she went to buy some coffee. She got in touch with USAA, who told her that the thief moved funds to an account with another account bearing her name. She requested that they follow the transaction trail and reimburse her for the funds, but instead they gave her another $1,500 fee because the two transfers left her account with a negative balance. In addition, she says USAA even froze her checking and saving accounts for suspicious activity, leaving her in a state of financial distress. She contacted Fox 6, and then they did help her get some of the money back. She got $8,500 of the initial money, so she's still out almost $3,000. So not very good, not very helpful of the bank. They pretty much took her money and said tough. But you know, people say crypto is bad for you, but the banks really don't have your best interests at hand. We have two cases of that in the last week. So our stochastic on our total does want to round. We are starting to pull back here. We could confirm this as our top. If we see a red candle for tomorrow start to pull back, that could create what's called a rounding top. We will cover a rounding top later in next week in our Mastering the Trade playlist, so make sure you don't miss that. Our VWAP does want to round away. Money flow is in the bullish territory. Momentum is pushing forward. RSI is pushing forward. But with the VWAP starting to round away, the momentum will start to lose some strength. Money flow will be in jeopardy of losing strength as well, and we could see a push down. Our momentums are big blue wave, our VWAPs are yellow wave, and our money flows are green wave. When they're above zero, they are bullish, meaning they can increase. When they're below zero, they are bearish, meaning they can decrease. This is on our indicators. Market Cipher B edits is what we're describing. You can also use Market Cipher A free version 1.1. This is all free on TradingView, just like the information given, so hit the notification bell. That way you can see all of our videos, like Mastering the Trade. So you will want your EMA the same as mine, EMA 1 through 8. Did not mean to make that disappear on you. So EMA 1 through 8, try and pull that up. So if you can't see this bottom one is 300, 250, then 200 near the bottom. Then our style is as following. Pull that up, so we have black as 8, gray as 7, and then so on. You should be able to see these other ones just fine. I think it's just near this bottom where you get cut off. So over on the daily, we are starting to round away. We do want to push forward. If we can continue this push forward, this would be an early break up, like we have seen on some of our other things that we called out earlier. So we will cover those. This does mean if we get a strong green candle, that will be a breakout. We could see a confirmation of a breakout, but with the last few green candles, I would watch for some sort of a retest. You don't necessarily have to have one, but it could be likely. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are still trying to push sideways, push forward with that kind of sideways double bottom. So we kind of went sideways, chopped sideways, tried to make a descending wedge. This descending wedge did push us up as it was a bullish pattern. Our reversal arrow did signal that this downtrend was about to reverse and we were in for a bull trend. We are above this EMA, continuing up. I will draw that double bottom that we did have. Our neckline could be right where we are, so that's why I'm going to draw this. And then our breakout point would be right around that 56%. So we could get a decent move forward. You could try to draw your neckline higher if you would want, but I wouldn't really count any of this as too high. You could pull a little bit higher above this candle, but we have two more candles here, so it looks a little more solid here right now. Stochastic does want to round. We could have our orange get above blue, so that could be a bearish cross. RSI wants to round, momentum wants to round, VWAP wants to round, and the money flow wants to round as well. If we see these indicators start to round away and become more bearish, we are likely going to reject, pull back, and then we can see that bearish momentum where we have that lower high with slightly lower lows, and we see that bear trend. So just be warned, we're not quite clear of that yet. We do still have that possibility. So over on Bitcoin futures, we are trying to push this value area high of our fixed range volume profile. If you're not familiar with the fixed range volume profile, we will have a video on it in our Mastering the Trade series. I believe it's one of the last ones for the week. So make sure you hit that notification bell and stay tuned all week so you don't miss a thing. Also, catch up if you haven't seen it already. It's a playlist on our channel. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI wants to push forward, momentum is pushing higher, VWAP is getting lower highs. Watch out for lower lows. If we get those lower lows, we could make a bearish trend and reverse, filling this lower gap. We're still not quite out of the woods, but we could see continued bullish momentum to help fill this higher gap, and then we could see a snap down. I do mention that when we cover this fixed range volume profile. Our money flow is pushing forward, VWAP does want to round, so I would watch if our VWAP does round here, our momentum will round out, and then our money flow will start to lose some strength, and we could still see a strong trend reversal if we're not careful. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did get our break up, so we are seeing that bullish momentum, we are bouncing off that value area high, and we are starting to pull back. If we can come back to the value area high, get a bounce and then continue forward, that would be our ideal move here. Our stochastic does want to round, RSI wants to round, momentum is rounding away, VWAP wants to round away, and the money flow wants to round. But if you would have caught this move from yesterday, you would have gotten a little bit of a decent swing trade. So that would have been good for you. If you were watching closely, you could have gotten out on one of these wicks. I'm sure if you look at the 1 hour, yeah, you could have tried to get out. You most likely would have gone out in this range, but that's still a decent profit area to make. So over on the 4 hour, RSI is heading down, stochastic's pushing down, money flow is pushing out, money flow is bullish, our momentum is pushing out, VWAP is under that neutral, so if our VWAP rolls over here, we could gain some more bearish momentum, then we could see lower price action. Remember, futures does lead Bitcoin, so if our futures comes back down and fills its gap, Bitcoin is likely going to push down and push toward that 40K or 44K. We did get quite a volatile move up. We haven't had very much retracement, so it is likely we could end up retracing. If we're not careful, we could make a double top, then the double top could bring us down and bring us lower. But on the 2 hour here, we are getting our full move. We are coming back down to retest where our full move would be. We're going to delete this pattern because it's pretty much played out. So again, if you made a move on that pattern we called out yesterday, good on you. Our momentum does have bearish divergence, so RSI wants to head down, VWAP is heading down, it wants to head through that neutral, so if it breaks through neutral, we will have bearish VWAP. That bearish VWAP will make our momentum round, that will make that bearish divergence, and that will bring our money flow down over time, and that will bring our price action lower, weakening our higher time frames. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is heading down, momentum is rounding out with a double red dot, RSI is coming down, that VWAP has broken into the bearish territory, money flow is heading down. So overall, the 1 hour does look like we are starting a bearish trend. We do have a lower low, so if we make a lower high, then continue with another lower low, we could confirm a bearish trend that would bring us down and weaken those higher time frames. Over on graph for the daily, we are getting that strong move up as the rest of our market moved up. So that is positive. We did come back up into that 17 resistance area, and now we are struggling again. So that is that move that we called out. If you got that, good for you if you held in for it. But I would just exercise some caution because right now that is a lot of green without much red. Stochastic is pretty overbought. RSI is overbought. Momentum does want to round. Our VWAP wants to roll over. Money flow does want to round away. So overall, we could see some bearish strength here if we're not careful. I would watch our lower time frames. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic does want to round away. We have a double red dot. Momentum is rounding. Money flow is pushing forward. Our VWAP has broken into the bearish territory. We do have lower highs with consistent lows. If we get stronger lower lows with lower highs, then we could make a strong bearish trend that could bring us lower. So I would watch out for that possibility. Over on the 2 hours, stochastic is pushing down, momentum is rounding out with that red dot as our VWAP breaks into the bearish territory. If that continues with these lower highs and lower lows, we could see the bears gain control. Our money flow is in the bullish territory, but if the momentum starts to come down, that money flow will come down with it. Over on our 1 hour, we do have bearish divergence on RSI and momentum, so that does want to bring us down as those are going lower while price action is going higher. Our VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory, our momentum is in the bullish territory. As that momentum weakens, our money flow will weaken as well. If that money flow becomes bearish and flips trends, then we could see those higher time frames start to get weaker as well. Over on Ankr for the daily, we are still within our rising wedge, but we do want to round away, so I would exercise some caution. Stochastic does want to make a bearish cross, RSI wants to head down, momentum is rounding, VWAP's rounding, and the money flow does want to reject that neutral. So overall, the daily does look a little weary. I would watch out. Over on our 4 hour, RSI is coming down, stochastic's overall pushing out, momentum is overall falling, and VWAP is rejecting that neutral and pulling back, so we are favoring the bearish territory here. If that continues on the lower time frames, the 4 and daily could start to flip into the bearish territory, and we will see this pattern break us down. Stochastic is pushing down, money flow is pretty flat, so I would exercise some caution. Over on the 2 hour, remember we can break out of this pattern early, we don't have to ride all the way to the top. Momentum does have bearish divergence, that is starting to play out and bring the momentum into bearish territory. Our VWAP was favoring the bearish territory, we tried to break bullish and we are coming back into the bearish territory. So if we start to favor the bearish territory and then make lower highs, we will see the bears start to gain control and we will get a breakdown. We have a manipulation X that does want to bring us lower after this one as well. When they are in pairs, they typically do play out pretty aggressively, so I would just exercise some caution here. Over on our 1 hour, stochastic is pushing down, RSI wants to slide as well, momentum is rolling back into the bearish territory, our VWAP is in the bearish territory, we tried to favor bullishly, but that could be getting exhausted, so I would watch. If that VWAP favors the bearish territory and that momentum breaks into the bearish territory, our money flow will make a trend reversal, and then our higher time frames would be in danger of reversing as well, bringing that price action down into the lower areas like the 22 cents and possibly 17.20 like we've mentioned previously. Over on XRP for the daily, we are starting our breakdown, so we did pretty much call this full move. We got about half that breakdown at this point. I would exercise caution on lower moves, but with the way the rest of the market is looking, we could potentially reject from this area and fill the rest of this move and then some, so I would still watch out for a rounding top to form here. Our stochastic does have our orange above blue, so we do have that bearish cross. Our RSI would be in jeopardy of coming down. VWAP is heading down, money flow is rejecting away from that neutral, momentum is rolling over, so the daily is picking up some more bearish strength. Over on this 4 hour, we did get that retest, and then we are trying to reject away, but we're kind of going sideways, so we pretty much got this flash move up, down. With this push forward, us trying to retest like this, we do have that indecision candle. This is that inverted hammer with that long upper shadow. That long upper shadow does show buyers tried to push us up, but they're getting exhausted, and we could see a move down kind of like that start to form. If we do see a strong push down, we could see those lower lows. So this could kick off that rounding top. We do cover this in next week's Mastering the Trade playlist. Our RSI wants to round away, stochastic's coming down, momentum is rounding, VWAP is in the bearish territory, it is starting to round away, and that money flow is rejecting as well. If that VWAP picks up more bearish strength, we will see the money flow reject, and we will see the bears continue their strength and bring that daily down. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a lower high with a lower low, so we are in a bit of a downtrend. This downtrend doesn't necessarily have to be a descending channel, as we wouldn't be able to really connect these lows. So because these lows and highs can't be connected in a descending channel, that does not give us that bullish possibility for a break forward. RSI is heading down, stochastic does want to round away after getting over that 30 and coming back below it. Momentum does have a red dot as our VWAP wants to break into the bearish territory and it wants to bring our money flow down with it. So I would watch the 1 hour very closely. If we continue this sell-off here, we could see some further losses, but again, I am going to delete this channel because it is for the most part played out. Stochastic does want to round away, RSI is rounding away. Momentum does want to round with a red dot. VWAP is getting a lower low, so if we get a lower high, we could see a bearish trend form on the 1 hour. If that bearish trend continues, then that will weaken those higher time frames, and we will see price action continue to slide to that 50-cent area. If we cannot hold that 50-cent area, that's where we will push to that 48-cent support, and then if we cannot hold that, we will likely push to our 40, then 38 if we are not careful. Over on ALGO for the daily, we do have this indecision as we tried to get over this 300-day EMA. So we are seeing a break forward, but now we're meeting some indecision as we meet this resistance area. Again, we said we want more green candles and a break forward if we're going to pull back into this area back here. Our stochastic does want to round. RSI wants to round. Momentum is rounding away. Our VWAP is picking up bearish strength. Money flow is starting to pick up bearish strength as well. So overall, the bears are gaining control. If the bears keep gaining control, we are likely going to continue back down. Over on the 4 hour, we could be making a double top here as we have a rise, a drop, a rise, and we are starting to fall. If we make a double top, that can start to bring us lower, and we can start to fall through these EMA levels. RSI does want to head down. Momentum is starting to head down. This is a bearish divergence here that does want to bring us lower on both momentum and stochastic. VWAP does want to round away. If that VWAP picks up bearish strength, we will see momentum continue down, and that money flow will start to weaken. That will start to weaken our daily and price action with it. Over on the 2 hour, RSI and stochastic do want to push lower. Momentum does have bearish divergence as well as stochastic. VWAP does want to break bearishly. Money flow is coming down. So overall, this 2 hour does look like we could continue to slide. We do have this kind of rounding top forming. If we break below this green candle with this candle, then we could see further sell-off. I would watch though, if we are not able to break below this zone right here, we could meet that support we mentioned, and then we could push above into that previous range. Over on our 1 hour, we are starting to round away. We do have that indecision candle and then a sell-off, so I would just exercise caution. The bears are starting to gain some strong control here. Stochastic does want to head down. Momentum is rounding. We have a red dot. RSI is heading down because of the stochastic selling off. Money flow is coming down because momentum and VWAP are falling. That VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory, so if it favors the bearish territory, we will see momentum continue down. Money flow will continue down, and then this 1 hour will break more bearishly, leading the higher time frames to weaken and price action to drop down, and we could revisit that 1618 zone. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.